Dr. Southall believes that his hidden cameras have saved many lives.
Child abuse is not easy to diagnose, is it?
Not easy, no.
Especially because the kind of abuse Dr. Southall is particularly interested in is not the common kind of abuse where a parent loses his patience and lashes out at the child, but rather a rare and insidious form of abuse with an unusual name, Münchhausen Syndrome by proxy.
The kind of abuse that we've been working on involves premeditated, sadistic abuse, and this is the kind of abuse that we feel must be stopped.
Like in this case, the 6-week-old baby lies quietly in her crib. Her 17-year-old mother brought her to the hospital because she said the baby couldn't breathe. Thanks to Dr. Southall's cameras, they found out why. Convinced that no one was looking, her mother tries to suffocate her.
Why would a parent do this?
For different reasons. I think that's very important to say. I don't think it's the same reason in every case.
Pediatrician Sir Roy Meadow knows as much as anyone in the world about the syndrome.
I can still remember the night when I realized what was happening.
20 years ago, Dr. Meadow was presented with a case he didn't understand. A child with blood in his urine, a condition for which he could find no medical explanation.
I couldn't sleep that night at all. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that everything could only be explained by the mother making up the stories, by the mother tampering with the urine samples, by the mother doing things. And I was so excited, I rang one of my colleagues, and he just said, "It's bloody obvious."
And Dr. Meadow proved he was right by confronting the mother, who then confessed that she had been putting the blood in her child's urine.
I mean, that case at once made me recollect another one. I thought I'd been hoodwinked in this way before.
Which led him to put a name to the abuse in this 1977 article, Münchhausen Syndrome by proxy. He says it's not a mental illness, but a personality disorder. And today, having seen some 300 cases, he believes he understands what motivates these parents.
They're doing it to draw attention to themselves, so they get a satisfaction from making the child ill. I think that's a key point of it. Some parents give flamboyant descriptions of the way they've resuscitated the child. Others have very unhappy homes and a rather absent husband or partner, and by making the child ill, they bring the partner back.
Women are usually the perpetrators in these cases, and Dr. Meadow says they are often very effective liars, which makes proving the abuse even harder.
If you think you see a life-threatening event...
You're straight in.
Detective Inspector Ray Needham, formerly of London's Metropolitan Police, was in charge of dispatching those nurses during the initial stage of the study. They watched 24 hours a day, and time after time, the child was abused. Like in this case, a 19-year-old mother attempts to suffocate her 6-month-old son.
She's got her right hand over the baby's eyes and bridge of nose, and her left hand was over the baby's mouth and nostrils.
Two hands holding...
Two hands. They can hear the baby.
Now, at this point, is someone on their way into that room?
Right.
His job was to make sure nurses were in the room no later than 25 seconds under any circumstances. Because experts say depriving an infant of oxygen for as little as 50 to 60 seconds can cause permanent brain damage.
Now she's talking to someone. That means someone's come in.
We sent the nurse in. We said, in there, now.
You do understand, though, that to some people, when they hear about this study, their first reaction is going to be, look, how dare you put a child in jeopardy even one more time?
This part of their argument I understand. If we had enough evidence, it would have been wrong to have gone ahead with covert surveillance. And in every case, we did not feel that we had enough evidence. What must go on in the home of these families is going to be far in excess of anything that happens in the hospital.
In all, Southall recorded 39 different children over 8 years.
37 mothers, 1 father, 1 grandmother.
And the incredible results of the study were just published in the journal Pediatrics. In 33 of the 39 cases, the children endured life-threatening attacks, though none died.
30 of 39, there was intentional suffocation, 2 poisonings, and 1 the mother broke the baby's arm.
The hardest to understand about the behavior, especially after seeing the tapes, is that experts say the parent's goal is not to kill the child, but to keep the child sick so they can continue to get attention. And the abuse is not just suffocation. In this horrifying case, a mother lied so often and so convincingly about her child's supposed eating disorder that the boy endured roughly 100 different operations to correct a non-existent condition. The parents did other horrific things to their children on tape, including kicking and pinching them, cruelly waking them, and roughly pushing the infants away when they reached out for comfort. Originally had been attributed to sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. But one of the most shocking revelations of Dr. Southall's study is that 10 other brothers and sisters of the videotape babies had also died of what was originally thought to be SIDS. But after the videotaping, 3 other parents, besides Mark, confessed to having murdered 7 of those children. Which makes some people wonder how many other SIDS deaths may actually be caused by parents killing their infants. One study claims it could be as high as 20%.
Can you remember what you were feeling, what you were thinking at the moment you had your hand over her face?
God, just kill me now, just take me now, so I won't do this.
But there was no divine intervention, and this woman, a mother who wants to remain anonymous, went on to nearly murder her then 2-year-old baby girl.
I walked up to the bed and I had my hand over my daughter's face, and I tried to suffocate her with my hand.
It was one of 3 separate attacks within 2 hours, all recorded on tape. The first went on for 51 seconds before the nurse arrived.
You did it again?
And the second time I did it again.
And again, for almost 50 agonizing seconds, she tries to snuff out the life of her toddler.
And it goes on
Yes.
and on.
And she's having a lot of difficulty holding that child down to have the child quit breathing. You can see how much he is fighting.
Larry Brubaker isn't shocked any longer by these videotapes, just angry.
That child is fighting back. It's no different than a rape victim or a victim of any other type of assault is fighting back. She is saying what she has to say. She's saying it how she has to say it. She knows what to say right now. As I said, these people are fabulous actors, and I think she's doing a great job right there, acting.
Brubaker has studied cases all over the United States. Dozens of hospitals across the country are secretly taping cases. This one from Minnesota.
This woman came in and said that her child was having breathing problems. She's laying across the child, and she's suffocating the child for some time there.
Brubaker worries that unlike the hospitals in Dr. Southall's study that enforced the strict 25-second rule, many U.S. hospitals let the attacks go on for a dangerously long time. In the tapes obtained by Primetime, there are 4 attacks of nearly 50 seconds or more, long enough, some experts believe, to cause brain damage.
Sitting in a courtroom, you saw yourself on videotape trying to suffocate your own 2-year-old child.
Right. That's what I saw, and I didn't believe it until after I saw it.
You didn't believe it?
I couldn't believe that I could do something that way. To see me doing something like that to my daughter, it was unbearable.
She pled guilty, lost all of her parental rights to her kids, and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. She served only 13 months, though, in this and another facility. But during that time, she got counseling, and she now claims that while she is not cured, she can control her urges.
This syndrome doesn't have to be forever. You can control it.
Are you cured?
No. Nobody's ever cured. You can control it, but you can't cure it.
I don't think that she can control it like she thinks she can control it. We all have those little urges, I think, in us that we think we can control, but we can't do it, whether it be an eating disorder or just some little quirk.
It is a critical question, because even though this woman is not permitted any contact with her own children, she's shocked us by revealing that she's in the process of being licensed to be a nurse in North Carolina. something every expert we interviewed, both in the U.S. and England, thought was extremely dangerous.
Do you think that they should know about your background before you become a nurse?
I think they should.
Do they?
It's not there on my record.
So they don't know. Should you tell them?
I feel like I should, but I feel like if I did, then my whole entire life would just be ruined because I couldn't be a nurse. I shouldn't hide it, but I do.